shite about wind. Bridie laughed. Ah, let her, Maisie. Go on, Grammy. You only live once. Ah, Jeremy loves me enough to let me pop off in peace. Bridie's head was firmly stuck in the fridge as she rummaged around. Jeremy is a teenage boy. He finds your noisy arse hilarious, Maisie remonstrated as Jeremy grinned. Bridie emerged from the fridge with a block of cheddar. Ah, cheese, she said, and Maisie watched her son's grin widen. If there was one thing you could say about Jeremy Bean, it would be that he loved his Grammy. One thin slice, I'm cooking breakfast, Maisie said firmly, and Bridie nodded, unwrapped the cheese, and sank her teeth into it. It was the first day of a new year, and the last day of the Christmas school holidays, so Maisie had made a large fry-up to celebrate both. Jeremy and Bridie were both tucking into theirs when she opened 12-year-old Valerie's bedroom door to tell her to come and eat. Valerie was lying on her bed, singing along, painfully loudly, to East 17's Stay Another Day. I've been shouting breakfast at the top of me lungs for the past 5 minutes, Valerie Bean. I'm not hungry yet, Maisie, Valerie said. Get your skinny arse into the kitchen before I murder you. Not hungry yet? Where do you think you are, the bleeding Ritz? As if bleeding Holiday Inn is as far as we'd get. Don't say bleeding, and move it, Maisie warned. Valerie huffed as she got to her feet. Valerie was a tween before anyone had put a name to it. She liked loud pop music, black clothes, her room, and little else. When she had turned 11, she had packed away all her dolls and cuddly animals, and a few weeks later she'd handed them to a gypsy woman who had called to the door begging for old clothes. She had kept just a small pink Care Bear that her daddy had given her on the one and only occasion he'd visited after the separation. She had hidden it in the bottom of her wardrobe in a shoebox with her unused diary and a piece of sticky rock presented to her by her best and only friend, Nolene Byrne, following a family holiday in Blackpool. Valerie had licked it, then announced that it tasted like shite and rewrapped it. Over Christmas, Maisie had introduced a swear jar to encourage her daughter to stop saying her 2 favourite words, bleedin' and shite, but it simply served to highlight her own bad language. She had tried to change her ways after she was hauled into the school principal's office to discuss her daughter's use of the word shite bag. To be fair, Principal Young, the lad was painting her hair with white Tipp-Ex. That is not the point, Miss Bean. I respectfully disagree. Valerie is learning this kind of language somewhere, and it's not in this school. We have strict rules about cursing here. Principal Young handed Maisie a list of banned words. She surveyed the list, most of which Maisie uttered on a daily basis. I don't see shite bag here, she said in an attempt to lighten the mood. Principal Young wasn't amused. Perhaps not, but you do see shit, and shite is simply shit with an E on the end. We have no problem with bag. Principal Young was being snotty. Maisie tolerated a lot, but snottiness really got under her skin. It was her trigger, the thing that switched her gear from amiable to dogmatic. Normally, she would have put that middle-class, college-educated woman with the posh accent and bad attitude back in her box, because Maisie did not react well to being looked down on. However, in this instance, her cheeks had flared red and she'd bitten her lip because the arrogant bitch was right. Valerie had picked up her cursing from herself and her mother, and although Maisie defended her right to express herself as she saw fit, little kids' cursing was off-putting. In that moment, she resolved to set a better example for her children. After all, how hard could it be? It turned out that it was very hard not to swear when you were a single mother of 2 and your mother was in the middle stages of dementia, you had a part-time job in a dental surgery during the week and cleaned a factory at weekends. By now, the jar was overflowing. Maisie dreaded her next meeting with Principal Young. When Bridie had still been well, she had often commented that Valerie would be the death of Maisie. I love the bones of her, but she's hard rearing, that child.